PingSunday has the special permission of Coach Chen Kangning. Please don't upload the video without the permission of Coach Chen and PingSunday.
That's what I mean, right? Okay. Not bad. It's okay, but a bit off. Starting to get the feel. Closer to me than I expected. Okay. It feels right. Getting closer means it's inviting. I dare not loop. Correct. Are you inviting me in? I have a sense of it. Why do I feel like I want to loop? When I noticed you suddenly rushing forward during the shot, I dare not loop. Why does my loop always hit the edge? Alright, I'll use your power to twist. It's quite clear that you're inviting. Okay. Yes. He hit the net. He tends to lift the ball upward. Lifting motion is incorrect because he doesn't create enough arc. Thus, the correct motion cannot be executed by him. Teach him to wait a bit. Yes. Yes. They will collide while waiting. Their focus is solely on the hand movement. Jing Brusha said, so listen closely. Good. Gather the power towards the forefront of your right foot. Right, that's good. Then utilize this force to rotate inward. Doesn't this bring the arm back? Good. Actually utilize the force to rotate inward. Yes, because once you step on the ground, the force stops. And then rotate inward. Why is that? Because it's a turn from one side to straight. Isn't it just moving forward? And there is forward force. Doesn't the body start to move your hand to confront the ball? If the paddle shape is inclined forward, naturally, it can rub the middle to upper middle part of the ball. Naturally, spin is generated, right? Along with your subjective guidance, thumb and forefinger act like small pliers, leading your racket to rotate inside. Then the rotation is subjectively about actively creating spin. A slicing contact inherently has a certain spin. Once you make a slicing contact, the ball naturally spins to some extent. When you subjectively impart force on the ball, isn't the rotation stronger? Can't you then create spin? Your body's kinetic energy and center of gravity are involved. The force from the foot pressing the ground rotates inward. As you step, you naturally apply force in that direction. The hand is led by them both. Thumb and forefinger. Like a pair of pliers. Look at these two. Actively create friction. Then the intensity of this friction increases. Right. Instead of merely using the surface to generate spin, the child is learning how to loop under spin. He doesn't have the ability to generate spin at all. When he plays, he's just mimicking your movements. Do you think he understands? The curvature is flat. Very flat. Later on, you can. Initially, his loop was very flat. What does this indicate? His positioning with the table doesn't match. The table is too high in the middle. You are very flat. What issue is arising here? When he looped like that, is he scared of hitting the net? He believes he can't clear the net. Okay, now he's gone to the other extreme. He doesn't generate spin. Out of bounds again. So, this is a pitfall that kids should avoid. So, the advice is to start by learning how to loop and avoid these pitfalls. He hasn't mastered the method of generating spin. Blindly teaching him to loop without understanding the method is pointless. When learning to loop with the backhand, if you ask him to add more spin later on, he might encounter this situation. Didn't he raise the racket? Why do I have to elevate the racket for this ball? He looped it like this. It should be flat. The backhand corresponds to the forehand. I'm rotating from inside to outside. The outward rotation is also applicable in the later stages. Is this a good loop? So, if it's the backhand, he starts raising it desperately. Like this, he is sending it out. The forehand is raised upwards and outwards. This is just like the basic training in the beginning. What is the logic behind the hidden loop? It's like a short high toss on your own table. Ha ha ha. Soft hidden power. The first one, When you wait for the ball to drop, you need to hit the ball slightly higher than when doing a long. The contact point should be slightly higher. The first hop should land in the middle of the table. This way it corresponds to a short one. When you exert force on the third one, don't clearly show your effort. Apply force discreetly. Your first hop should land a bit into the table. A hidden loop halfway off the table. Is it deliberately slow? Suddenly bounce over. Wait for the ball to drop as your hand also comes slightly down. Lower than the ball. Rub against the inside of the table. Yeah, the first hop is on the table. It becomes a hidden loop as it goes over. The first hop lands at the lowest point. The first hop is at your own baseline. Do you see it clearly? Landing at the lowest. It's right at the baseline halfway. A small hidden loop with hidden power. Many coaches will tell children to pay attention to lifting upward. Right, you need to pay attention to friction because children have limited understanding. When you tell them to lift up, they only understand the literal meaning. Now, look at me. I'm coming in like this. How am I not lifting up? I'm lower than the ball, but as I come in, isn't it a lift? Right, but the lift that children understand. They just raise the racket. It's short and high again. Don't you see? The ball I hit. Isn't it long and low? Look, it's low on this side. The net is high. But when it goes over, it's low again. Should match the height of the table. When it goes from low to the middle, that's the highest point. Then it gradually drops. Children understand the literal meaning. Is from low to high. From high to the end. Do you understand? That's why many coaches, when explaining to children, their expression is inaccurate. But children may have misconceptions in understanding. The loop is aimed at this spot. It just landed. This is a loop, right? But when you teach your friend to loop, do not teach this point. Let him wait a bit longer. Quality doesn't have to be high. Find the feeling of creating arc. I carry it through the center of gravity. Look at the ball after the shot. This is outside, right? A bit lower outside, lower than the ball. Then turn it back. Is it from outside in? But it's not completely flat. A bit lower here. But, finally, there is a feeling of pressing the arc back. Why should the point be lower for the second one? In the middle and later stages. In the early stages, it's about lifting. It's even less likely to lift in the rising phase. Yes. He hit the ball into the net. Lifting the ball upwards is the wrong technique. Therefore, he fails to execute the correct technique. Teach him to wait for a moment. Start by learning this. They tend to hesitate and collide. So, listen to me carefully. Proceed. Channel the power to the front sole of your right foot. Correct. Well done. And then utilize this force to rotate inward. Is it pulling your arm back? Good. Utilize the force to rotate inward. There is an upward force already. Yes. Then rotate inward. Correct. Why? Isn't it moving forward? And also a forward force. Isn't your body starting to drive your hand to engage in a confrontational mode with the ball? So, with a tilted blade structure, naturally, you can rub the ball from the middle to upper middle part. Right, so it naturally produces rotation. Plus, doesn't it subjectively guide it more? Your thumb and index finger act like a small to pivot your racket inwards, thus creating rotation. With the angle, there's a certain spin. Right, with the angled contact, the ball has some spin. When you actively put spin on the ball, you are able to generate spin, right? As your body shifts, so does the center of gravity. Your foot pivots inward with force, upward and inward. Your step follows that direction naturally with power. Your hands also they are led forward by the body movement. What about the thumb and index finger? Like a pair of pliers. Look at these two. Engage in rubbing actively. This enhances the friction force. Right, it's not just incidental, but using this angle intentionally. You should let him move forward and rub against it. You need to make sure he masters it first. Create the arc, right? Create the spin. Wait until that happens. You said I can also loop with a very low arc, right? But what am I? I'm controllable. Actually, I do have an arc. It's just that I have a good grasp of the timing. Let it generate an arc. This is just right over. I won't lift to high, right? And then, it drops down really low, right? Yes. Is it low at both ends? The middle high, like climbing a hill and going down, must be like this. Push it up and press it down. So you see, kids, if from the start you don't let them master this thing, you just blindly let them imitate your actions. The kid is learning to loop underspin. He doesn't have the ability to generate spin at all. When he palms, he only imitates your posture and ability. Do you think he gets it? It seems like he's stepping up to the table. Very flat. Later on, you can... At the beginning, his loop was very flat. What does that indicate? He and the table don't match. The middle of the table is high. You're very flat. What problem has come up? When he loops like that ... into the net, is he afraid? He thinks he can't clear the net. What should he do? Alright, now he's leaning to the other extreme. He doesn't generate friction. Out of bounds again. So this is a pitfall that kids must avoid. So the advice is to focus on avoiding pitfalls when learning. But in reality, he hasn't established. When it comes to actually using the rubbing method, he hasn't mastered the rubbing technique. Without mastering the method to create an arc, blindly teaching him to loop serves no purpose.
Read more about table tennis on my blog, PingSunday.com. Get free ebook and coaching advices. See you in the next video.